I walked into Leela's office, trying to ignore the tight knot in my stomach. She looked up from her laptop, her eyes glinting with that infuriating mix of charm and superiority. Finally decided to show up. She asked, smirking. "Yeah," I muttered, forcing a smile. "Got your message, Leela?" Leaned back in her chair, crossing her legs. "I read your latest proposal." I have to say she paused, tilting her head. "It's ambitious." I blinked. "Thanks." She laughed, but it wasn't warm. "Ambitious? That's cute. You've got dreams, I'll give you that. But let's be honest. Do you even have a plan? Or is this just another fantasy you've written on paper?" I forced a chuckle. I thought the ideas were solid." "Solid," she repeated, raising an eyebrow. "You're talented, sure, but talent without execution is nothing. You're floating, I'll give it a name. Ambitionless." My stomach sank. Ambitionless? She leaned forward, her voice soft, but cutting. "Yes, I see potential in people. I invest in people who are willing to fight for more. You talk a big game, but nothing ever comes of it. Don't take it personally. It's just reality." I swallowed hard. I'm working on it." Leela's smile widened, sharp and cruel. "Working on it? You're 28. You've got time, technically. But if you don't step up, life will step over you. And trust me, I won't be waiting to watch your slow climb." Her words hit like a punch. I wanted to say something, to defend myself, but all I could do was nod. I understand." She gave a small, dismissive laugh. "Good. I'll see what you do next. Impress me or don't. It doesn't matter to me." I left her office, trying to act casual, sliding out the door with my head high. "Nice talk," I muttered under my breath, though my heart was racing. Outside, I leaned against the wall, closing my eyes. Her words echoed ambitionless, floating, nothing ever comes of it. It stung more than I wanted to admit. But then something shifted inside me. A quiet fire ignited, a determination I hadn't fully felt before. Not for her, not for anyone else, but for me. I clenched my fists. "I'll show you," I whispered. "I'll show everyone." The wind brushed past, cold and sharp, but it didn't shake me. In that moment, I made a promise I would never break. I would rise. I would fight. I would no longer be the man she dismissed so icily, and I would start today. The phone buzzed. "Ryan, my lifeline some days." "Hey man, you okay?" His voice was calm, steady. "Okay?" I scoffed. "You call barely scraping by, okay?" "Better than sulking," he said. "Look, I know it sucks. But sitting there whining won't pay rent." I leaned back, rubbing my temples. "You don't get it. Lila, she's right. I am nothing right now. Ambitionless, floating." Ryan chuckled softly. "You're letting her words own you? Come on, that's not you. You've got brains, guts, and ideas. You just need direction." I sighed. "Direction. Easy for you to say, not easy. But I've seen you work. You don't quit. You adapt. Remember last month when that investor laughed at your pitch?" I groaned. "Yeah, he basically said my ideas were a joke. And it hurt." "It still does," I admitted. "But you didn't stop," Ryan said. "You kept refining your plan. That's what matters. You have to keep moving." I rubbed my hands together, pacing. "I can't keep doing the same thing and expect a miracle. Then don't. Change your game. Learn something new. Find a niche no one else sees," Ryan suggested. "Ever thought about real estate? Small investments, rentals, flipping properties?" I stopped. "Real estate? Yeah, start small. Study the market. Look for deals others miss. You've got analytical skills. Put them to work." I stared at him. "You really think I can do that?" "Not think. No. You just need someone to guide you." That evening, I met Mr. Kapoor, an older investor Ryan recommended. His office smelled of leather and old books. The kind of place that made you feel like money and experience had weight. "You're ambitious, but raw," he said, studying me over rimmed glasses. I can help you, but you need discipline. No excuses, I want to learn, I said, swallowing my pride. Good. We'll start small. You'll make mistakes, but you'll learn faster than most. The key is persistence. I nodded, feeling a spark of hope I hadn't felt in months. I won't waste this chance. Over the next few weeks, I spent nights reading, analyzing the market, calculating risks. Every rejection from investors or failed pitch felt like fuel. Each failure reminded me why I had to rise. One night Ryan called. You sound different. More focused. Because I am, I said. I realized the world doesn't reward whining. It rewards action. The people laughing now, they won't be laughing for long. He laughed. That's the spirit. Keep pushing. I hung up and stared out the window. My small apartment, my struggling startup, the debts piling up, all of it became a backdrop for something bigger. Something I was finally willing to fight for. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel like floating. I felt like I was moving. I stepped into the dusty building I'd just bought, the smell of old paint and mildew hitting me like a wave. Ryan trailed behind, whistling. You really went through with it? He asked, eyebrows raised. Of course, I said, grinning, despite the mess. Small start, big lessons, he laughed. You're brave or crazy? Maybe both. Call it ambition, I shot back. A voice called from upstairs. Hey, are you the new owner? I turned. A young woman, clipboard in hand, leaned against the railing. I'm Maya, she said, smiling. I handle tenant relations here. Nice to meet you, Maya. I'm the new owner, I replied. Awkwardly. Don't worry, we've seen worse, she said, laughing. But you, planning to fix things up, or just collect rent and leave? I looked around at peeling paint and broken fixtures. Fix things up for now. Step by step, Ryan muttered. Good luck with that. Maya guided me through the building, pointing out repairs, tenant complaints, and minor improvements I could make. You've got potential, but you need to understand people, not just numbers, she said. I nodded, scribbling notes. Noted people first. Got it. Also, she added, don't underestimate the power of small gestures. A clean hallway, fresh paint, even a friendly smile. Tenants notice more than you think. Her words hit me. I realized my approach so far had been all strategy, all spreadsheets. I'd forgotten the human element. Ryan nudged me. See? People skills aren't your strong suit yet. I ignored him, focusing on Maya. Thanks. I think this is going to work. Slowly, but it's working. Weeks passed, and I spent every evening at the property, fixing leaks, repainting walls, talking to tenants. Every small improvement felt like a victory. One night I caught myself grinning while tightening a doorknob. I actually enjoy this, I muttered to myself. Ryan walked in, shaking his head. You've changed. You're obsessed. Not obsessed, I said, wiping sweat from my brow. Focused. Maya came by one afternoon, holding a stack of tenant requests. You're making a difference, she said. People trust you now. Even the old-timers who doubted you. I laughed. It's amazing how fast things change when you actually show up. She smiled. Keep this up, and maybe Leela will finally realize she underestimated you. Her words made my chest tighten. I didn't need validation from her, but hearing it stirred something deep inside. I whispered, she see one day. Months rolled on, and my small investment started showing real promise. Renters were happier, minor issues were fixed, and my confidence grew. Every successful step reminded me that real power wasn't flashy. It was patient, calculated, and consistent. One evening, as I locked up, Ryan clapped me on the back. You've got momentum now. Don't lose it. I won't, I said. I'm learning that it's the small wins that build the foundation for something bigger. I paused, looking out at the city skyline. Leela's mocking face flashed in my mind. Every insult replayed like a broken record, but instead of stinging, it fueled me. I was alive in a way I hadn't been for years. Ready for the next step? Ryan asked, grinning. I nodded. Absolutely. And this time, I'm doing it my way. Smart, patient, unstoppable. Maya waved from the door. See you tomorrow, boss, she called. I smiled. See you tomorrow, I said, my mind already racing ahead. This was just the beginning. I slammed my laptop shut, my heart pounding. Emails, calls, everything leaked. My investment plans, my strategy for the building, every detail in the hands of a rival. I couldn't breathe. Not now, not after everything. Ryan's name flashed in my mind. I grabbed my phone and dialed. Ryan, I said, voice shaking. Did you share my plans? There was a pause. Then look, I don't lie. I know, I snapped. All my hard work, everything, and you just gave it away. He sighed. I didn't mean to. You didn't mean to? Ryan, do you have any idea what this could cost me? It was a quick deal, man. I saw an opportunity. An opportunity. My opportunity, not yours. I yelled. My hands were shaking. Do you even get what betrayal means? I thought you'd understand. You know, I needed cash. It was just a temporary thing. Temporary. I repeated incredulously. Do you even know what that word means in this context? Temporary can ruin permanent. You just destroyed months of work for what? Money. I didn't think it would matter, he said quietly. I didn't think it would matter? Ryan, you don't get it. This isn't just a building. It's my life, my proof that I can rise above. I trailed off, my throat tight. Look, he started again, hesitant. I'm sorry. I don't want your sorry. I interrupted. I don't want excuses. I trusted you. I believed in you. And you, my voice cracked. You stabbed me in the back. There was silence on the line. I paced, trying to calm down. I couldn't believe I let this happen. Ryan, my friend, my confidant. Are you going to forgive me? He finally asked, tentative. I stopped and laughed bitterly. Forgive you? Do you know what forgiveness is? You don't get to ask that. Not yet. Not until I decide if you even deserve a place in my life. I can fix it. I'll do anything, fix it. I repeated, incredulous. Some things you can't fix. Some things are broken forever. You just made me realize something important. Trust is fragile, Ryan. And ambition doesn't forgive stupidity. I hung up. My hands were shaking, chest tight. The betrayal burned, sharper than any insult Leela ever threw at me. I felt empty, hollow, but also furious. I sank onto my couch, running a hand through my hair. The rage inside me wasn't just about money or plans. It was about being blindsided by someone I considered family. I whispered to myself, you think betrayal will stop me? You think this can break me? No, it wouldn't. I clenched my fists. It's a lesson. Harder than any I've faced, but I'll be smarter. I'll move differently, carefully, and one day I'll see the results. Not just for revenge, but to prove to myself that nothing can stop me when I refuse to be broken. Ryan had betrayed me. That was real. But letting it destroy me? That was a choice, and I chose not to be destroyed. I slammed my notebook shut, exhausted but buzzing. Weeks of working non-stop, sleepless nights, and relentless planning were finally paying off. Ryan's betrayal still stung, but I refused to let it define me. I muttered, no more distractions. Time to rise? My phone buzzed. Lena? Hey, you still grinding? She asked, her voice sharp and confident. Always, I replied, trying to keep my frustration at bay. Why? I've been watching the market. Leela's company just bought the old Grant building downtown, she said. I froze. Lila, what's she doing here? Arrogance, mostly, Lena said with a laugh. But she's exposed herself. Prime property, wrong strategy. There's an opening for someone smarter. Someone patient. I leaned back, thinking, you mean me? Exactly. But you need guidance. These deals aren't simple. I'm listening, I said, adrenaline kicking in. Lena outlined her plan, how to spot undervalued properties. strategies Lila overlooked, and what to avoid. I scribbled notes, heart racing. Step 1, she said, is research. Don't rush. You want precision, not panic. Got it. Precision, I repeated. And step 2, she continued, network. Know the right people, the tenants, the city council. Information is power. The more you know, the smarter your moves. I nodded. I can do that. I will, she smiled. I like your attitude, but don't let anger blind you. Use it. Let it fuel strategy, not chaos. I've learned that, I said quietly. Betrayal, it teaches lessons, harsh as they are. Lena laughed softly. Good. Remember, patience and persistence win more battles than brute force. And you've got the drive. After our call, I stared at the city skyline from my small apartment. Lila's shadow loomed large in my mind, the smirk, the words, the confidence she carried like a crown. But now, it wasn't intimidation. It was motivation, I muttered to myself. She thinks I'm beneath her. Let's see how that plays out. I spent the next few days running calculations, contacting contractors, and scouting potential properties. Every small victory, a tenant satisfied, a minor repair done, a lease renewed, felt like stacking bricks in a wall no one could knock down. Ryan's betrayal no longer haunted me. It sharpened me. I whispered, "You'll see, Ryan. You'll see." One evening, I met Lena at a cafe. "You're moving fast," she said, sliding me a folder of insider tips. "Lila won't expect a challenge. That's your advantage." I scanned the data, heart pounding. This could change everything. Only if you stay disciplined, Lena warned. No shortcuts. No ego. I'm done with shortcuts, I said. An ego? That belongs to Lila. I'm focused on results. We clinked coffee mugs. 2 rising from ashes, she said. 2 rising from ashes, I echoed. Determination burning inside. That night, as I returned to my small apartment, I felt the spark of something I hadn't felt in years. Control. Every decision, every action, every calculated risk was mine. No one could mock me, betray me, or underestimate me without consequences. I whispered into the darkness, Lila. You wanted to see me fail. Watch carefully. This is only the beginning. And for the first time in months, I felt unstoppable. I stepped out of the meeting room, the contract in my hand, and couldn't stop grinning. My first major deal. A small building with enormous potential, and I was finally the one calling the shots. Ryan clapped me on the back. You did it. I can't believe it. I can, I said, laughter escaping me. Months of work. This is just the beginning. Maya appeared at the entrance, clipboard in hand. Congrats. Tenants are already buzzing. They like your approach, real, approachable, not just another suit trying to squeeze them for rent. I smiled. Thanks, Maya. That means a lot. She shrugged. It's simple. Respect people, and they respect you back. You've got that balance. Keep it up, later Lena called. I heard the news. Well done, she said, her voice crisp. This deal proves your strategy works. Now the key is consistency. I know, I said. I've learned that small victories matter. They stack up. Exactly, she said. And keep your eyes open. Opportunities are everywhere. But the ones you notice first are the ones that matter most. After the calls, I walked around the building, inspecting repairs, chatting with tenants. Each smile, each nod of appreciation made my chest swell with pride. One of the older tenants, Mr. Roberts, stopped me. You're different from the other landlords, he said. You listen. You actually care. I nodded. I believe it makes a difference. I want this to be a place people feel safe in, not just another roof over their heads. He smiled. Well, you're doing a good job. As I closed the door to my office, my phone buzzed. An unknown number. Peter, Lila's assistant. Peter, I asked cautiously. Hi. I didn't mean anything, he stammered. But I thought you should know Leela's planning to acquire another property downtown. She's confident she'll get it, but, I asked, leaning forward. She underestimates competition. She doesn't know her rival is aware of her tactics yet, he said quickly. I didn't want to cause trouble, just thought you should know. I swallowed. Thanks, Peter. I appreciate the heads up. He hung up before I could ask more. My mind raced. Lila, always a step ahead in arrogance. Now unknowingly handing me a key advantage. I muttered to myself, she doesn't see me yet. That's about to change. That evening, I poured myself a drink and stared out at the city skyline. Lila's mocking words flashed in my mind, ambitionless, floating, nothing ever comes of it. But this time, they weren't chains. They were fuel. Ryan leaned against the doorway. You look different, he said. Confident. Alive. I nodded, swirling my glass. I am. Power isn't just money. It's respect, influence, control over your own life. I'm finally starting to understand that. He smiled. Just don't get cocky. You've worked too hard. I won't, I said firmly. I'm focused. Every step counts. And now I feel unstoppable. I walked around the building one last time, checking locks, talking to tenants, making small improvements. Each action was proof that I was no longer the man who waited for life to happen. I was making it happen, and as the sun set, I whispered to myself, this is just the beginning, Lila. Watch closely. I'm not ambitionless. I'm unstoppable. I sat at my desk, reviewing the latest property listings when Ryan's old betrayal flashed in my mind. Not anger, not any more clarity. My phone buzzed. Lena, big news, she said, voice low. Lila is planning to sell her apartment building downtown. I froze. Sell? She wouldn't dare she would. Overconfident as always, but this is your chance. You've got the funds, the knowledge, the network. You could outbid her. I ran a hand over my face. Outbid her, without her knowing. Exactly. That's the thrill. It's not about showing off. It's about silent victory, she said, laughing softly. Careful execution, patience. You can pull it off, I leaned back. I like silent victories. Quiet, precise, satisfying. Lena chuckled. Good, but you'll need legal guidance. There are clauses, deadlines, inspections. You can't leave anything to chance. I nodded. I know just the person. The next day, I met Mr. Ahmed, sharp lawyer with a reputation for handling complex deals. So you want to outbid someone without revealing your identity? He asked, adjusting his glasses. Yes, and I need it done legally, flawlessly, I said. No leaks, no mistakes. He nodded slowly. It's tricky, but possible. We'll use a shell company. Funds are ready, contracts ready. You just need patience. I've got patience, I said, smiling. And this time, I'm in control. Over the next few weeks, I coordinated every step. I created the shell company, wired the funds, reviewed legal documents with Mr. Ahmed. Each detail mattered: inspections, bids, contingency clauses. I couldn't leave anything to chance. Lena checked in regularly. Are you ready? She asked one night. Ready? I said. This isn't just about the building. It's about proving something, quietly, strategically. Good. That's how revenge works. Subtle, precise. I thought about Lila, imagining her arrogance when she assumed she'd get the property. The thought made my chest tighten, satisfaction simmering under control. One evening, her assistant called me accidentally. Nothing. Never mind, he muttered. I smiled. Peter, just curious, any news on Lila's plan? She's confident she'll win the auction. Doesn't know anyone else is interested? I hung up, my heart racing. Everything aligned perfectly. Lila had no idea. Not a single clue. Weeks passed. I made small, quiet improvements to my properties, met with tenants, and maintained my regular routine. The world saw nothing, but I was moving pieces behind the scenes. every action deliberate. One night, Mr. Ahmed called. Everything is ready. The bid will go through tomorrow. I grinned, feeling the thrill. Perfect. Everything exactly as planned. No mistakes. No leaks. No chance for her to know it's me. He laughed softly. You're meticulous. I like it. I learned from the best, I said quietly. My mind flashed back to Leela mocking me, calling me ambitionless, floating nothing. That voice fueled me now. Every insult turned into strategy, every doubt into calculation. I whispered to myself, she wanted to see me fail. Watch closely, Lila. This is just the beginning. Lena called one last time. Remember, it's not just about money. It's about control, respect, influence, and you've got it all ready. I know, I said, my pulse racing. Patience, secrecy, perfection, that's how you win silently. That's how you prove them wrong. I closed my laptop, staring out at the city's skyline. Every step had been calculated. Every move had been precise. And tomorrow, everything would change. For the first time, I felt the intoxicating mix of power and satisfaction. Revenge without confrontation, victory without noise. Silent, unstoppable, inevitable. I slipped into the back of the auction hall, my hands clammy, heart racing. Lila was there, radiant as ever, in a sleek black dress. Confidence radiated off her like a spotlight. She's gorgeous, Ryan muttered beside me. Unaware I had nothing to do with her presence. I don't care about gorgeous, I whispered, tightening my grip on my coat. Tonight is about strategy, patience, control. The auctioneer cleared his throat. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin with Lot 1, the apartment building on Monroe Street. I held my breath. Lila's eyes sparkled as she raised her paddle. She looked confident, untouchable. The first bid went up. Lila's paddle shot up. I held back. Let her think she had the advantage. Going once, going twice, the auctioneer intoned. Another paddle raised mine. I stayed calm, letting the tension build. Lila's eyes flicked toward me briefly. I smiled inwardly. She had no idea the bids climbed. I stayed silent, careful, letting her think she was winning. Every muscle in my body screamed with anticipation. Ryan leaned close. You're going to blow your cover. Why aren't you bidding? Patience, I hissed. Wait for the right moment. Going once. Going twice. The auctioneer's voice echoed through the hall. I raised my paddle. A quiet jolt of satisfaction coursing through me. The hall murmured. Lila's confident smirk faltered for the first time. 5 million, do I hear 6? The auctioneer asked. I raised 6. Her eyes widened. She laughed nervously. 7 million, she said quickly, trying to recover. 8, I countered. Call. Collected. Each bid was a heartbeat, each number a silent message. Going once, going twice, the tension was unbearable. I could feel my pulse in my ears. Lila hesitated, her confidence wavering. She looked around, searching for support, for someone to whisper reassurance. But I stayed quiet, unseen, untouchable. Sold. The auctioneer finally declared. The gavel fell. My heart skipped a beat. I had done it. My building. Her building. Lila froze, eyes wide, then glanced around, realization dawning too late. I let a small smile play on my lips. She had no idea it was me. The thrill of triumph coursed through my veins, intense and satisfying. Ryan leaned over. You did it. I can't believe it. She's speechless. I nodded, my chest tight with emotion. Quiet victory, I whispered. Perfect execution. Lila stormed out, a storm of disbelief and rage. I watched her, noting every expression, savoring the moment. My vengeance wasn't loud. It was precise, personal, controlled. Lena appeared beside me, grinning. Exactly as planned, she said. Silent, unstoppable. You've mastered patience and timing. I exhaled slowly, letting the adrenaline fade. Every insult, every doubt, every betrayal, it all led to this. Not just for revenge, but to prove I could rise quietly and decisively. Ryan clapped my shoulder. I never doubted you well, maybe a little. But wow, this is something else. I smiled faintly. It's more than something else. It's a statement. To her, to myself, and to anyone who ever thought I was ambitionless. As the crowd thinned and the night settled, I walked through the hall, imagining Leela's thoughts. Each step I took felt lighter, stronger. The building was mine, not just in deed, but in strategy, planning, a quiet triumph. I whispered under my breath, almost to myself, ambitionless. Not anymore. Watch closely, Lila. This is only the beginning. The night air hit me as I exited the hall. Cold, crisp, alive. I felt unstoppable. Unseen, but victorious. Every calculation, every patience, every silent move had led here. And for the first time, I didn't just feel powerful. I felt justified. I watched from a distance as Leela stormed back into her office, her heels clicking against the polished floor. Her face was pale, eyes wide with disbelief. I don't understand, she said, voice trembling. How did this happen? Peter, her assistant, stammered beside her. I'm not sure, Ms. Lila. Everything seemed in order, not in order. She snapped, slamming her hand on the desk. I had this in the bag. I knew it. I smirked quietly, hidden in the shadows, not needing to announce my presence. The silence was mine. Karma had a subtle way of working. No shouting, no confrontation. Just undeniable reality. A few tenants walked past, laughing softly. He's amazing, one said. Never seen a landlord who actually listens. I clenched my fists, satisfaction rising. Months of effort, sleepless nights, careful strategy, and here she was, realizing she'd underestimated me. Not publicly, not with drama. Just the truth landing quietly but sharply. Ryan appeared beside me, looking stunned. She's speechless, he muttered. I nodded. Exactly the point. No gloating required. Just results. Lena's voice buzzed in my ear. How does it feel to watch karma unfold? I smiled softly. It's precise, controlled, quiet. She doesn't know who to blame, except that she misjudged me. That's the real satisfaction. Peter ran a hand through his hair nervously. Ms. Lila, maybe we should call the auction house. Call them? She repeated, panic creeping into her tone. No, it's final. I can't undo it. I leaned back, letting the moment settle. Revenge isn't about noise. It's about the shift in power, subtle and undeniable. Her arrogance, her mockery, all of it had led her to this point. One of the tenants, an older woman, approached the building's front door. I've never felt so respected by a landlord, she said to a colleague. He listens. He cares. It's different. I let the words wash over me, smiling quietly. This was what mattered. Respect, influence, control, the things Lila had thought she owned exclusively. Peter glanced nervously at me, unaware I was observing. I think she's going to need time to process this, he admitted. Time. I whispered to myself. She misjudged me for years. Time is exactly what she'll get to realize. She's powerless here. Lila sank into her chair, running a hand over her face. I can't believe this. I didn't see it coming, I muttered under my breath. You never did, Lila, and that's why this works. Silent victory. Quiet proof. Ryan shook his head, still in awe. I've never seen you like this. Calm, precise, unstoppable. I laughed softly. Unstoppable isn't loud. Ryan, it's deliberate, patient, calculated. That's how you survive. That's how you win. Lena appeared again, smiling. Your tenants love you. The properties are thriving, and Lila's arrogance just collapsed quietly. Perfect execution, I nodded. Months of work, strategic patience, and not a single reckless move. She thinks she can control everything, but she couldn't control me, the building. Now fully under my management, felt alive. Tenants came up to say hello, thank me for repairs, for listening, for showing they mattered. Each interaction reinforced my growth, the respect I had earned, the silent influence I wielded. I whispered to myself, almost to the empty street outside, ambitionless. Mocked? Not anymore. My life isn't hers to belittle. Never again. And as I walked past the building, seeing tenants smile, hearing laughter, I realized that revenge didn't need drama. It didn't need confrontation. The quiet power shift, the subtle shift of respect and control, cut deeper than any shout could ever achieve. I had risen, silently, unseen, respected. My phone buzzed. Lila. My chest tightened before I even answered. Hello? I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Hi. I know it's been a while, she said softly. I wanted to talk. About everything. I hesitated. The past months flashed in my mind. The mockery, the betrayals, the silent victories. Everything. I asked carefully. Yes, she said, almost whispering. I was wrong. About you. About how I treated you. I wanted to apologize. I laughed bitterly. Apologize? After everything? You think a simple sorry undoes months of being underestimated? I know it's not enough, she admitted, but I had to try. I've changed too. I ran a hand through my hair. Changed? You lost the building, Lila. You were confident you'd win. And yet here we are. I know, she said quietly, and I hate that I let arrogance blind me. I underestimated your patience, your strategy, your drive. You're different now. Stronger? Stronger? I repeated, a small smile tugging at my lips. Yes, I am stronger. I've worked. I've learned. I've earned respect, influence. Control things you never gave me the chance to achieve. I see that now, she said. Her voice cracked slightly. And I regret mocking you. I regret not believing in you. I paused, heart beating fast. The man I had been before, insecure, unsure, eager for approval, would have responded differently. Eager to please, eager to forgive. But not anymore. I don't know what you expect from me, I said finally. Forgiveness? Understanding? Or do you just need to unburden yourself? I don't know, she admitted. Maybe all of it. Maybe just I wanted you to know I see you now. The man I didn't respect before, he's not the same man. And maybe I was wrong to ever doubt you. The silence stretched. I could feel the weight of years of anger, of satisfaction, of lessons learned. Lila, I said slowly, what you don't realize is I don't need validation from you. I've built something real. I've grown. I've proven to myself that I'm not the man you mocked. I know, she whispered. And I wish I could change the past. Past is past, I said firmly. But this conversation, it matters. It's proof that I've moved on and that you're starting to understand me finally. There was a long pause. I hope we can talk again someday, she said tentatively. Maybe, I replied, my voice calm, measured. But I'm different now. The man you saw before, he doesn't exist. I've grown stronger. I've learned to value myself. Good, she said softly. I'm glad you're happy. And I'm truly sorry for everything. I hear you, I said, setting the phone down. My hands were steady, my heart lighter than it had been in years. Anger lingered, but it was tempered with satisfaction. The man she saw before? Gone. The man she saw now? Unstoppable. And for the first time, I realized I didn't need her approval. I didn't need her apology. I just needed closure, and I had it. I walked into the cafe where we had first met years ago, my heart steady, my mind clear. Lila was already there, sitting with her coffee, fingers tapping nervously against the cup. Hello, she said quietly, looking up. Hello, Lila, I replied calmly. Sliding into the seat opposite her, she smiled faintly. You look different. Stronger. I've changed, I said, meeting her gaze. Not because of you, but because of myself. Her eyes flickered, a shadow of remorse crossing her face. I know I misjudged you, mocked you. I can't undo it, but I wanted you to know that I'm sorry. I nodded, letting her words wash over me. I've heard it before, Lila, but this meeting isn't about apology. It's about closure for both of us. She blinked, confused. Closure. Yes, I said, leaning back. I've worked hard, grown stronger, built something meaningful. And now I realize that real power isn't in revenge. It's in rising above those who doubted you. Her hands trembled slightly as she reached for her cup. I never thought you'd become this successful, confident, in control. I smiled faintly. I didn't become this for you. I became this for me. Every insult, every doubt, every moment of being underestimated pushed me forward. And I survived. Thrived even. She sighed, her voice softening. I wish I had seen that sooner. I regret underestimating you. And that's your lesson, not mine, I said gently. I'm not here to make you feel guilty or to remind you of your arrogance. I'm here to reclaim my peace. To move on, she looked down, quietly absorbing my words. I see. You've truly changed, not just financially, but emotionally. You re-free. I nodded. Exactly. Free from the shadows of doubt, free from the mockery, free from needing anyone's approval, even yours. I'm proud of you, she said finally, her voice small but sincere. Thank you, I replied. But the pride I feel now comes from within. From knowing I've risen above everything that tried to break me, she hesitated, then smiled faintly, a mix of admiration and regret. I guess this is goodbye. Yes, I said softly, standing. Goodbye, Lila. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, but because I choose to walk my own path stronger, wiser, and at peace. She nodded, eyes glistening slightly. I hope your path continues to bring you everything you deserve. I will, I said firmly. And I've learned that life is about creating your own power, your own respect, your own victories. Not holding on to grudges. Not needing validation, we exchanged a final glance. A silent acknowledgement of the past, of mistakes, of lessons learned. Then I turned and walked out, feeling lighter than I had in years. The sun hit my face as I stepped outside. Warm, bright, alive. I smiled, knowing I had truly won, not by taking revenge, but by reclaiming myself. And for the first time, I realized that the strongest victory isn't in defeating someone else. It's in rising above them entirely. I stepped onto the balcony of my newest property, the city sprawling beneath me, sunlight glinting off glass and steel. The air felt different now. Lighter, freer, live with possibilities. Impressive, Maya said from behind me, leaning on the railing. You've really built something remarkable. I smiled faintly. Remarkable? Maybe, but more than that, it's mine. Every step, every decision, every risk, it's all mine. She nodded. And that building downtown, the one Leela used to own? I chuckled softly. It's a symbol now. Not of revenge, not of obsession, but of growth. Every tenant, every corner, every repair, it reminds me of how far I've come. Lena appeared beside me, her usual confident grin in place. You've turned every insult, every doubt, every mockery into fuel. That's ambition. That's power. And it's quiet, precise, unstoppable. I looked at her, feeling the weight of her words. I've learned that ambition isn't about flashy moves or proving people wrong. It's about consistency, strategy, and believing in yourself when no one else does. Ryan, now an ally once more, joined us. You've changed, man. Not just in wealth, but in how you handle everything. Calm, calculated, unshakable. I laughed quietly. It wasn't easy. There were nights I doubted myself, nights I wanted to quit. But every setback became a lesson. Every failure, a chance to grow. And every mockery, a reminder to keep moving forward. Maya glanced toward the horizon. So no lingering thoughts about Leela? About the past? I shook my head. No, the past taught me, shaped me, but it doesn't define me anymore. Lila's mistakes, her underestimation, they're just chapters in my story. I've written the ending I wanted, one where I thrive quietly, steadily, confidently. Lena smiled. And the tenants? They respect you. They trust you. That's real influence, stronger than any property or money. I nodded, thinking about every conversation, every repair, every effort to listen and improve. Respect, trust, influence, these aren't things you buy. You earn them. And that's far more satisfying than any auction win or silent revenge. Ryan elbowed me lightly. And look at you. You're happy, free, ambitionless. Never again, I laughed, feeling the truth of it. No, ambition drives me, but not for anyone else's approval. I've built a life where my dreams, my efforts, and my decisions matter first. That's power. That's freedom. Maya smiled warmly. You've inspired more than just yourself. You've shown that perseverance, belief, and careful action can overcome doubt, betrayal, and mockery. I looked out again at the city, at the buildings I'd restored, the streets humming with life, and finally allowed myself to breathe fully. I used to be afraid of being underestimated, afraid of failure, of humiliation, but I've realized the only opinion that matters is mine. The only measure of success is what I build, quietly with care and strategy. Lena nodded. And the future? I smiled, letting the sunlight warm my face. The future is mine to shape. No one can mock my dreams now. No one can define my worth. Every property, every tenant, every decision, it's a reminder that ambition, self-belief, and perseverance define a man far more than anyone else's opinion. Ryan raised his cup of coffee. 2 new horizons. I raised mine too, feeling the warmth, the satisfaction, the peace that comes from knowing I've truly earned it. 2 new horizons, I echoed, quiet promise to myself and to the life I'd built. As we watched the sun dip below the skyline, I knew one thing for certain. I had reclaimed my life, my dreams, and my respect. And this time, nothing could take it from me.